What's happening, guys? Dan here, DD's Beach Shop in the lost land of junk Tri-5 Chevrolets. Oh, Danny, this is a new video, just so you know. You're editing the last one. Anyway, we're making lots of progress on this 57 Chevy. It's actually, this is a pretty nice car. It's got a little bit of rot in it. Well, I always say a little bit of rot, and then the internet tells me I'm an idiot and it's got lots of rot, but such is life. This thing has been started to be repaired on that side. Same with over here, actually. It's been riveted, so we might do a little bit of welding, but we'll see. I mean, it is what it is. It's not a bad repair. And for what this car is going to be, just a fun kind of cruiser for someone, I wouldn't worry about it. We might, like I said, grind off the seam sealer and kind of give it a little bit of a weld, but seam sealer hides all. Now back here, we had a bunch of situations in the last video, so we've kind of made a cap for the rocker. We actually sectioned another section from another car here. Now everything's just kind of floating in there. There's a couple ugly tack welds. The floor is kind of on its own. We do have to fix this section right here, which again is going to be a pretty simple little kind of step down. A little goofy in there to get in. We'll have to figure that one out. The real concern though is the wheel tub is, well, kind of non-existent in a few spots, so we have to build, ooh, the camera really doesn't like the light there. We have to build a 90 and then kind of curve it to a certain extent, which is going to be a little ugly. I might build it in two pieces because it's, we'll see what happens. We got some material here. We'll just start hacking and cutting and welding until it looks like something. Again, this is one of those things where no one's ever going to see it. Once the back teeth is in and a little bit of seam sealer, it'll be just fine. But we might as well kind of do it while we're here. Well, obviously it's rust, we don't want that. And I want to get all that taken care of before we have the door post in and all that. If this is on a real two-door, this would be an ugly job to be done because you'd have the outside structure and the inside structure. And usually, if you're doing a quarter panel, the inside structure is still there, which would go right up to this lip, I think, or close to. And you're working in here, be ugly and all that, and here we are. So really, this is like an educational car. We can show how I'm going to butcher it all together. We got a little bit of fitment to do over here, but again, the more I look at this, the more I realize how much filler is in this whole section. This is all body filler. So the fact that it doesn't fit, or it's close to fitting, I should say, is not really a shock. We can do that on the outside. I like to put the post in. That always looks good. That's like the feel-good moment. Unfortunately, you got a few evenings of suck, which is what we're currently in. So I'm going to just power through those. It's like 10:30 on a Saturday night. What else are you doing? Putting in wheel tubs. Well, Danny's out with her friends having a nice meal and drinks. How did this work out? And I pay for everything. All right. Well, let's chop up some steel. I do have a butchered piece of rocker, which I screwed up in the last video. So I think what I'm going to do is cut it right here and kind of keep this L-ish shape. We may have to give it a little bit more of an L. I tried to bend this and give it a bit of a curve, so whatever. But once we have that, I think we might be able to put that in the stretcher shrinker and make a curve out of it. So that's my plan. I'm going to cut this out and maybe clean it up with a grinder real quick, and we'll see what we end up with. We're running out of steel. We may have to take that door off. So, that's what we got going on. This is a leftover piece of the old rocker. Now, what we're going to do is kind of put that in there. Now, obviously, we got to fold it, which is a bit of a hassle. So I think we're going to fold it, then we'll make another piece that'll just plate over that. I think this should be wide enough to get rid of the rust. Now I've been playing with it a little bit in the shrinker stretcher, so I'll drag that over and we'll just kind of see. This is kind of on the upper edge of what that thing can kind of deal with, thickness-wise. I think it's 16 or 18 gauge, and this is for sure 16, if not 14 is kind of what I have the welder set to, so it's, well, I guess it's probably 16. It's pretty thick, so you gotta kind of, beat on it a little bit, but we should be able to get it in there. The shrinker stretcher will just see we're kind of working on a bit of a curve, so I'll get that set up and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about, but we should be able to have something here pretty quick, weld it in, side plate, and then up there we might have to do, you know, our own little custom patch. We'll see how it goes. Side note, be very careful welding on wheel tubs, rubbers in there, undercoating, all sorts of stuff like that. It can catch fire, so I'd not recommend doing this and then getting out. But we got a little bit of time. Let's get this set up, see where we end up. Okay, so we're doing okay here. Now essentially what we want this to have a nice curve to it, which means we have to stretch this side of the metal, which is pretty simple. Stretcher shinker, all it has is a set of jaws that pinch the metal and pull it apart, or pinch the metal and kind of cram it all together. So, see if we can just kind of get in this. If you screw it up, who cares? So we'll just kind of run this through. Got a bit of a lip on here. I probably could have cut or straightened out, but don't let the stretcher do that. So already here, we're getting a nice little curve. So now we need way more down low. I'll kind of go from there. Now again, this is one of those things, I'm pretty amateur at it, but hey, if it works, it works. You can only stretch the metal so much before it starts kind of tearing apart at the seams, so be aware of that. This doesn't just have infinity amount of screwing around with it. And then same thing when you're shrinking it, you'll just start piling the metal on top of each other and you kind of have to mess with it. So okay, the bottom's where we want it. So just right here over, we want more curve. Now this is also you kind of play with it in and out of the jaws to get more or less stretch. Obviously, I believe if you're on the edge, it'll kind of stretch a little more easier. Huh? Look at that piece of angle. Okay, we still need a pile more here. This is where it might get into the old tearing up the steel, but we'll fast motion this for a little bit. Okay, so now we've got our piece here. So that'll cover up all the rust holes on the wheel tub itself. I would have liked to have this a little bit kind of thicker. I did play with a piece, I don't know where I put it, but when it got much thicker, it's way harder. The machine was struggling, so maybe if we had like a fancy air one or something like that, but that'll pretty much go there. So we're gonna go ahead and just mark it, cut it out, the wheel tub anyways. And then here, same thing, we'll have to make just a little piece, but we'll weld it from the edge to the new angle, and that'll all be filled in nicely. Ugh, look at all this garbage. Still pretty solid though. We'll get that all dialed, and we just got this little piece here to work on, and we'll be all set. So maybe I'll set you guys up over on that side. hopefully you can see a little bit. I know my back was kind of to it, but just the way it is. So this is the piece we got in. Little gappy at the bottom, but not too bad. And then I'm just going to weld it right over top of that, and that should be good. And then I'll make a little plate to go down here, so there's not a whole lot in there. We can actually kind of cut it out from the inside if we want. I'll cut this little section out, and then like I said, it's just going to be there to there, and it'll be perfectly strong. And that's all pretty good metal. It's funny, it's like it's got big folds in it. This is obviously from the factory. It was just pressed into bits, so you can see there's a little high. There you go. So we'll weld that all in, make it look nice. And once we have that, all that's left is this little disaster, which is relatively pretty small. A little patch, a little bit of carpet. No one will be the wiser. So I wonder what we can do. Maybe we can set up on the other door and look in sideways. We'll try that. And again, this here, a lot of it fell out. There's like rat's nests and all sorts of stuff in here. Fire, fire, fire. Be careful. Okay, so that's the piece. Not too bad. It's a little, just lap welded it, but it's good. Amazon box to the rescue. So this goes kind of something like that. So I'll just cut that with some steel and weld that in, and then all we got left is that little piece down there. That's seam weld or butt welded in. It looked really good. I mean, whatever. I say really good, but better than rust holes anyway. So yeah, once we get that in, just gonna make a little piece here, which might be a little tricky. A couple little steps. Might have to build it in 2 or 3 pieces, but that's really no big deal. And then I really have to get this door post in tonight if I can have that permanent, and then we can just spend the whole next video fitting. Man, the dogs just go crazy in there. I'm not used to that. They miss Daniela. Anyway, we'll get that all taken care of. And like I said, the next video we can have all the fun stuff. Welding up this quarter panel piece and making it really look like something. Because right now it just looks kind of like we're stretching it for a limousine, which, with the 50-foot opening, I got all sorts of ideas. I really want to build a Tri-5. Oh, yeah. You got to weld this gap in, too. Or if I should just put a piece of steel in there and weld it on both sides. That might be the plan. It's getting there. Okay, so I've gotten lots done. I had to keep stopping to go pick you up. But, so this piece here is right, it's all in, little brace welded in.
That looks great.
So that's all taken care of. So now we gotta just get this little piece in here done. I gotta weld the floor to this rocker piece. And then we can put the door post in. I want to weld that in and get so the door opens and closes on its own. And then we can do two-door stuff after, because that's fun. This is less fun. It's downright awful.
At what point are you going to go to bed?
I think I got 1 more hour in me. So I think I can do the floor and weld that in and the post in an hour. I think I got it. And we'll start again tomorrow. So, I got some spare bits here. I think this is all we need right here. Also, I'm just going to cut this into something. Really, this is going to be a pretty easy patch because I'm just going to kind of curve it in. So we'll just cut out the junk, fit in there, and it's not like, this is a little step down. We're not going to do that. We're just going to have it kind of curve in, weld it, and be done, because that way we're going to end up making our own braces underneath because we're cheap. And I don't want to spend $100 a brace on this car for something no one's going to see, and ultimately doesn't even need them. Braces are overrated. All this weld we're putting in there should be fine. Get that cutting in. Are you fast motioning this?
No.
It's just boring.
Wait a minute, they don't get to see the work.
Nobody wants to see the work. It's terrible. Nothing like eyeballing it. Huh. Weird. These grinding discs, sometimes they just, it's like they don't break in or something. Okay. So, I guess we'll have to, is there a marker anywhere? A little eyeball. I ordered a pile of Sharpies. Tech tip,
There's
don't.
one right there.
What you're pointing at? No. Order Sharpies. Don't order the cheap Chinese knockoffs because they work for 1 second. You're horribly annoying. Okay, so we gotta put a bit of curve right there, ish, and then we'll cut this kind of something like that. See if that gives us a start. confident it'll first time. We need a little more curve, a little more. It's not bad right there. I think that should be.
Looks pretty good to me.
There's a little bit of a gap at the bottom, but I'm thinking seam sealer might be the plan there. Or maybe just give it a little bend. Oh yeah, that's what we want right there. That'll be perfect. Take a little bit out of the edge. I think I'm just going to start welding it in and trimming it to fit. Okay, got a little patch kind of ugly fit in. And we're going to be a little lazy. We're just going to put it right over top and then weld it all in. So I'm just going to weld the edges and then start smashing with a hammer until it's exactly how I think it should be. Okay, that's pretty good.
Fire.
Huh?
Fire. Oh, it's just smoke. It looks like fire.
It's fine. You worry too much. So, just kind of give this a little. So that's where we want that to be. Perfect. Look at that. That's pretty honky-tonkin' weld. So this is right down on it. Oof. Okay, now we just kind of got to fold this over, if it will nicely go. That might be a hold down and weld situation. Your camera's getting in my personal space.
I'm trying to show the action.
The action. Well, where were you like 3 hours ago? That's where the action was.
I was avoiding your personal space.
I see that. So that's right down on top of it. So just right here we kind of cheated. Instead of just going down 2 steps, we only did the 1 step. We're just going to weld it the whole way in. It should be just fine. Whoops. A little thin there. And life will be a lot easier when we're going to make the brace for this. It'll just have one kind of gentle curve, so life will be good. So I'll just get that welded up right quick. We might knock it down a few spots just to get in there, but see your dog's barking here.
Doesn't like your hammering.
So we got her in there. Use a little more.
The sound mixing on this video is going to be terrible.
No, it'll just be fine. So she's all welded back together. I put a strip in here and just kind of welded it. So she's solid.
That looks really good.
You know what?
This was ugly work, and you did a good job of it.
Seam sealer goes a long way. Yeah. So we'll seam seal it, carpet it. It'll be fine. Good enough for who it's for, you know what I mean? So now, this thing's all pretty much cleaned up, I think. We should be able to actually have this in a proper spot and like weld it in proper, which would be a nice little victory. Hopefully. Unless the door has come of adjustment or something. Okay. So that's about where she wants to be. So now, there's my hammer. It's a little twisted, but if we can get it kind of knocked into place. Ready for this? What? Oh. This thing's having a moment at the most inopportune times. Come on! Why? It's just welding fine. Oh, that's not too bad. So it's going to be twisted, but it'll be in the right spot at least. What is going on? Man, it's almost like it's 1 o'clock in the morning and it wants to be done. Okay, so if we get that. Let's see. Did that? I don't know if that grabbed or not. We have to give it another little test weld here. How is there still lead in there? It's got to go forward. Hurrah! How did it come so out of adjustment? How, Danielle? We're getting there. I don't know why this is... Oh, right. It's all coming back to me now.
What?
Yeah, on a 4-door post, you have to modify the post, or you gotta modify the back of the door, as I recall, because the door is different. So now, how do we want to handle that? In the past, I think I've just rocked the post back and cheated, which is kind of not really the best. Because, yeah, the door is in contact with the post there. So there's not a whole lot we can do. Unless we smash the front way over. Yeah, that's what I did last time. I don't know if I want to do that or not. One o'clock in the morning really makes you want to cut corners, though,
I was
eh?
gonna say, maybe we should just think about it and not,
I was thinking we just weld her in, call it a day. Because it's a lot.
Pizza?
Well, the pizza's not here yet, so we'll work until the pizza's here, at the very least. You know, I think that's not bad. I'm just gonna weld this in at an angle. We'll deal with it later. Whoops. I'd have to adjust that just a little. If I can knock this in. Oh, she's really tight. The top fits better than the bottom for some reason. Maybe I need a bigger hammer. What do you think? Or a pry bar or something. I don't have enough vice grips. I'll have to go buy some tomorrow. Look at all these useless tools we're using here. Who uses vice grips in a 2-door conversion? Oof, that is... She's snug. Is this even gonna fit? Oh yeah. That's what we want to do. Alright. The floor's so soft here. Can't quite clamp it over. Jeez. This is fixing to blow up my face. Okay, if we got that one. See if the door's still.
oh! Like a glove!
Yeah. Might need just a little bit of adjustment on the striker, but honestly, not bad. Might be able to clamp this one in too, actually. Give it a little bit more twist.
Twist it, baby.
Twist it. You know, I just want to get this done so we can get into the fun stuff. Are you having fun?
I'm enjoying my time spent with you.
Don't give me that stock answer. If we can get this in. I guess maybe that's all it wants to go. It must be hitting something. Yeah, that's in there. So we might just have to space the striker out. Don't.
Look at that.
Yeah, we can adjust that just a little bit. This is just floppy, right? So what's it tight on? I don't really know why it's door. Oh, the door has to go down just a little, or the striker has to go up, maybe. Yeah. I'm gonna say that's good. So let's just weld the bejesus out of this thing. At worst case, if it's junk, let's cut it out because we already did that once. These tri-pipes, I like having the door post cut out. Oh, yeah, that was a good one. So now down here, is this a good one? I ain't going nowhere. So again, these posts, they're just from the factory, like just spot welded in. So we're really giving her here. Ooh, little lead. Just burn that right out. Oh. I'm calling that done. It'll need a little more weld, but we'll do that tomorrow. It's far too late to be messing around. We still got to kind of clean up a little bit, make sure we don't have any fires. But this here, let's adjust this backwards. Yeah, so it's just kind of rubbing that. But that's fine. We can always cut this out and move it back a little. It actually has to go in because the door, oh, the door might be able to be adjusted out actually. Maybe that's a problem we had. Yeah. Much better. That's a decent little gap we got top and bottom. Look at that, actually. That's really good. It's right in line with that rocker. This door's got a bit of a whammo in it. So now all we got to do, I will trace this with a Sharpie, cut that down so it matches, and then we'll end up welding in our panel to this, and then to the inside of that, and that'll be our structure. There's a door open mint there. And this is what the door will look like on the inside, which is a little jank, but you will end up kind of using this section here, which is just a trim piece in a 4-door, but we'll end up using that as the structure. And we got to find that little bottom piece. Maybe I put it in the car so it just matches the door. We're set. Just that easy. I feel like we did this a couple days ago, but now it's all welded in and strong. We got to get some seam sealer. I got to find a good body shop to deal with out here, actually. But seam seal the floor. The wheel tub came out good. Man, this was all just flapping in the wind. Now it's sturdy. That's where I'm leaving it. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe below. Feel free to start welding junk together in your garage at 1 o'clock in the morning while you're waiting for pizza. Okay, we'll check on this in 20 minutes. Make sure we haven't had a fire. Then bedtime. See you in the next one.